Hi, my name is Steve Sikora. I'm producer, president, and owner of Harmonic Software Production Studios, and I've been doing this FileMaker thing for a long time. More importantly, I'm a dad and a husband. I've literally been remodeling my house nonstop since 2009. I love DIY. Last, I'm a newly diagnosed type 1 diabetic. While that may seem unrelated to a talk on an air quality management system, it's more relevant than you might think. As you'll see with my coworker Daisy Graves' session, there's a lot of data coming out of our diabetes tech, and both of our sessions are asking how can we leverage the technology to serve and enhance the human condition. My session here is entitled The Air We Breathe, and we're going to discuss the challenge, the solution, and how and why it works. Buckle up and let's go for a ride. With a growing populace and rapidly increasing urbanization, most countries face increasing air pollution challenges. Plus, our indoor air quality is often significantly worse than the outdoor air. CO2, particulate matter, and off-gassing are the constant byproducts of human habitation. For me, this is personal. For many years, I've watched as my wife struggles to breathe, an ability I take for granted. Lately, her breathing challenges have gone from an occasional inconvenience to a far more frequent and unwanted reality. As I've listened to my wife and watched her suffering, I've begun to realize that we as humans face a number of challenges when attempting to self-report our pain, ailments, and struggles. This can increase the difficulty of seeking help, whether professional, institutional, or private. Professionals want to deal with facts. They want to dispense advice and treatments that are safe, risk-managed, and peer-reviewed. But what if I don't want to live the rest of my life on your steroids? Gurus would like for you to enlighten your way out of the problem, which would be great, but what if I don't get it? Those of us who are afflicted, especially people with chronic and difficult to diagnose conditions, tend to own our problems. It often seems that no one understands our challenges. Many hours and dollars have gone into attempts at diagnosis and treatment, but answers remain elusive. We know that she has microbial sensitivities, pet dander is strictly off limits, and outdoor air quality is highly correlative to her ability and capacity to breathe. But nothing we tried really seemed to help. So how can I help? How can I mash up the objective with the subjective, present it for analysis, and submit it for action? Let's see what we have. We've got subjective input, objective data streams, analysis, and action. That sounds like a mobile app, a database server, a reporting and data manipulation tool, and API integration. I think we need a platform and cats. Introducing the Cat Suite. Why cats? Well, my wife loves cats. I even think my wife may be a cat, but we can't have cats because real cats, not great for indoor air quality, especially for someone with my wife's sensibilities. I'd come up with this idea to build my wife an app. I mean, I'm a database guy, right? I wanted to help capture and clarify through some of the subjective fog of the pain and misery of a chronic condition. But I had a problem. You see, my wife is not that fond of technology. She's a cat, remember? Ask her to put something on her calendar and she picks up this book. Ask her to turn on the lights and instead of saying, "Hey Siri," like any sane person would, she gets up and presses the button, which she insisted that I put in, by the way. So how could I get her in the middle of the night when she's totally pissed off that she woke up unable to breathe yet again, to click a button on a screen so that I could capture the when, where, and why around that subjective experience? I knew it had to be right there. I knew it had to be always on. I knew it had to be as few clicks as possible. My wife detests being delayed and made to feel stupid by clumsy and slow tech. And I knew it had to be beautiful. What I didn't know is what would cause her to engage and provide input the second through the nth time in a row. So I asked her. She said, well, this is probably silly, but is there some way, after I complete the entry, that you could have a nice cat curl up and go to sleep on the screen? I think that would calm me down and help me go back to sleep. So I built the Happy Cat app. It's a dedicated interface, an old iPad Mini 2 that sits permanently on my wife's nightstand and acts as her clock and input device. It has beautiful hand-drawn art by my daughter, and it targets a sweet spot of data capture and motivation. Now, instead of being totally pissed off that she woke up in the middle of the night, she's only mostly pissed off because she at least feels like she's doing something by recording why, when, and where she woke up. And she loves the cats. Let's take a look at this app. This is the loading screen, and here's the main menu. The time is always shown at the top. Depending on the time of day, a different default entry will be prompted. Since it was 11:42 at night when we recorded this video, the app assumes that my wife can't get to sleep. Let's click that entry. We get a fun intro image channeling the user's experience. We then present a series of choices pre-selected for the user that help the user quickly and efficiently provide feedback. Maybe she can't breathe. Maybe she had too many cat naps. But tonight, she's too hot. Data captured, she's presented with a reward image and thanked for her input. Now the app is ready to record the next moment. Now that we have our subjective data stream, where do we put it? And what other kind of objective data can we mash up to begin looking for trends? In order to treat the air quality in my home, I had to understand the air quality both inside and outside of my house. I purchased 3 IQ Air Visual Pro air quality monitors and placed them in my master bedroom, my living room, and my backyard. I now had real-time data on temperature, humidity, CO2, and PM 2.5. These components make up the widely agreed upon criteria for air quality measurement and result in an air quality index, or AQI score. My outdoor air quality monitor is now a public air quality management station and reports up to a cloud of air quality data worldwide. This is used in a number of big data engines for real-time reporting, analysis, and trends. So with the combination of my wife's subjective data input and my air quality monitor's objective data input, I have a large number of disparate data types that need to be stored in an organized and extensible fashion. The Cat Tree Emporium, CTE for short, is modularly constructed to take any number of reporters and indicators from a variety of data sources and APIs and store them in a single long and skinny table. CTE is also responsible for the default air management automation through a series of server-side scripts. Let's take a closer look at CTE. On the right-hand side, you can see a never-ending stream of data constantly being pushed in. In the upper left is the dashboard of air quality data from my 3 monitors in the living room, master bedroom, and backyard. Below those are the indicators for the current whole house fan, fresh air mode, and air program status. This is the list of reporters, currently 3 air monitors, 2 apps, and a fan system. These are the data indicators the system is currently parsing. And here are the data. We can see whole house fan data, air mode data, and here's a bunch of subjective data from my wife. So now that we have the objective and subjective data streams, we need to analyze and present that data for review and action. This is where the human element comes in and represents, to me, one of the most powerful aspects of FileMaker as a workforce innovation platform. Dr. Mewis to the rescue. While I'm just getting started with the trending and analysis generated by the CAT suite, I can tell you that I've already come to some very interesting observations, and I'm using those observations to fine-tune my logic tree. It's going to take some additional time to figure out correlation and causation with my wife's conditions, but I finally have a reliable stream of data to begin evaluating. Now that we think we know what we want to do and when we want it done, how do we automate the mundane and remind the forgetful? As everyone should know, FileMaker comes equipped with a powerful set of tools for API integration and procedural control. In my house, there are a number of mechanical systems used to manage the air quality. I go into depth on what these are and how they work in an accompanying video that I'll provide a link to at the end of this session. For now, however, let's concentrate on the three bubbles to the right. First, my air conditioner is normally set to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, my whole house fan is set to auto mode. Last, the ceiling fan in the living room is turned off. Now let's compare exercise mode. Here I've turned down the AC to 72 degrees. I've switched the whole house fan to 10, which is activated fresh air makeup mode. And I've turned that ceiling fan on high. Now I'm ready to do that plank. Finally, there's party mode. Here we're also cooking, so all the mechanical systems are active. The other difference here is that the whole house fan is running at speed 5 to reduce the noise a little bit. All right, so let's build an app. I do like tech, so the idea to me of being able to pick up my iPad, click a button, and have it automatically switch modes and set all the mechanical systems accordingly is very compelling. Further, I do want to be able to tell Siri to launch party mode. I call this final app the laser pointer because, well, laser pointers are how we get cats to do what we want, right? This is a simple app doing powerful things. On the right, you can see the settings associated with default mode. Now, let's switch to exercise mode and see what happens. Note that the temp setting has been lowered, the whole house fan has been set to 10, fresh air mode is on, and the ceiling fan is on high. Now I can do that plank again. How does this work? There's a Raspberry Pi running in my attic. It's running Django to support a REST call from FileMaker and activate a Python script. When activated, that Python script sets the digital to analog control board on the right to a voltage based on the parameter of the REST call. It also closes a relay on the relay board you can see on the left. That voltage control board has activated these inline fans, which are now pulling stale air out of the top of my living room. The relay closing has alerted my makeup air system that it needs to switch to fresh air mode. Here you can see the door swing closed on the house return and open to the outside air inlet. Switching to our monitoring system, which is sped up for this video, in the middle graph we can see the building's pressure start to drop. The makeup air system then increases the fan speed to bring the home's pressure back to neutral. Switching back to the app, let's turn off exercise mode and see what happens. Note that the mechanical systems go back to their default settings. We can see the fans and building pressure returning to normal. But since this was for DevCon, let's leave the system in party mode. So why does this work? First, special thanks goes out to FileMaker, my daughter and her art, as well as my wife and her inspiration. It works, frankly, because all of them are awesome. It works because we store the data when it happens, not when we need it or can't clearly remember. It works because we're keeping the data modular, fast, and extensible. It works because we're leveraging technology for a real and valuable purpose, not simply because we can. And that purpose is to analyze the inscrutable and automate the mundane. Thank you for watching.